Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about this guitar. This is an Epiphone Les Paul Classic. Thank you for clicking on the link and checking this video out. I appreciate it, it's very good of you. If you enjoy things here, give me a like, give me a subscribe, because that's what sets all those weird algorithms off, and that's what YouTube likes. Down to business. First things first, the channel name has changed because now that we're not just going to be talking about records, I thought we should change it to something different. So the channel is now called Ugarig Wen Music. You can look up what that means. It's Welsh. I live in Wales, so it kind of makes some sort of sense to me, okay? If not to you. First things first. This video is not going to be one of those where we kind of pick up a Gibson Les Paul and pick up an Epiphone and say, how can you possibly think an Epiphone's as good as a Les Paul? Rubbish. Or, conversely, where we pick up our Epiphone Les Paul and go, ha, it's every bit as good as your American Gibson Les Paul. No. This is a review about this guitar in its own right. What's it like to own it? What's it like to play it? What's it like to use live? Shall we take a look? Hello there, it's me. As usual, I have to interrupt just to tell you, I'm going to swear. I am going to swear in this video. If you don't like swearing, please don't complain in the comments. Either go somewhere else or watch it with the sound turned down, okay? So, let's take a look at the guitar in a little bit more detail, shall we? Yes, let's. Starting with the headstock. A few years ago now, Epiphone changed their headstock design. It's a bit more like the traditional Gibson, and I like it. I think that's nice. It's a nice change. Epiphone headstocks used to be a little bit bigger, a little bit different. In fact, I'm looking at one hung up on the wall over there now, and you know what? It doesn't look too bad, actually. But I do prefer this. I think that's nice. You've got your truss rod cover on there as well, which in this case says Classic because it's a Les Paul Classic. We've got a Graphtec nut, which keeps everything nice and smooth for your strings to move through, rather than a plastic one, or even a bone one, I guess. And on the back there, we've got some fantastic Grover tuners. Check them out. They're good. They work very, very, I hope that's focusing. They work very, very well. They're nice. Now then, the neck on this guitar is great. It's, I think they call it a modern C profile, which means, to me at least, it just means it's nice and comfortable. It's a really, really comfortable thing to work with. It's varnished, so if you don't like that, I guess you could get a Scotch pad and knock it back. Doesn't really bother me though, I think that's okay. But God, it's comfortable. It's not like a big old 50s style neck, which is like a baseball bat. It's really nice, very, very comfortable. The fretboard is a Laurel fretboard, I do believe. And you know what? Maybe that's the one part of the guitar that lets it down a bit. I appreciate, you know, resources, wood, costs, etc. But it's not very dark, is it? Take a look at that. It's kind of like an orangey sort of colour, yeah? And I think most of us, certainly me anyway, would prefer a darker fretboard. It makes absolutely no difference to the playability of the guitar. But from an aesthetic appearance point of view, I think dark fretboards look better. The frets themselves are good. Can't argue with them. There's no nasty sharp bits along the side of it. Obviously, the neck is bound, as you'd expect. And that works great. But look, this is the honeyburst finish. And doesn't that look beautiful? That's great, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful, that. And the back, there we go. Oops, sorry, you're getting too many reflections on here. I'm learning as I go, bear with me. There's the back for you. It's a mahogany body with a maple top, apparently. But it's not a solid, thick piece of maple on the top. I think they're veneers, because I guess that's one of the way they keep prices down, you know. It's difficult to see on the back how many pieces of wood this is made from. It gives to all intents and purposes, it kind of looks like it's just made from one, doesn't it? I'd be very pleased if it was, but I don't know, because again, they're capable of completely covering everything on the guitar in veneers now so that you don't know. The only way you'll find out about the body is to take out the pickups and kind of look down the cavities and see what's in there. But it is definitely a veneered top, but so what? I don't care. It makes no fucking difference to me whatsoever. People argue all the time about, oh, if you've got a better top on the guitar, it's going to sound fantastic. It's going to sustain more, Bit of a Spinal Tap moment. It's still going, yeah? Nonsense. To me anyway. Listen, if you're maybe Gary Moore or Steve Vai, that sort of stuff's important to you, like endless sustain, great. For people like you and me, why should that be a deciding factor in us buying a guitar? It might sustain for 2 seconds longer. Give your head a wobble. Come off it. We don't care about that stuff, do we? We just want a good guitar. And this is one. We've got our usual Gibson style saddles and the kind of wraparound bridge there. These are good. Okay, sorry, can you see that? Here we go. The bridge on these things, on a traditional kind of Les Paul style guitar, these things just, when you take up the strings, they just kind of fall out because they're not held in by any tension. But on these, they've got like little kind of grippy metal bits. So when you take your strings off, they don't just drop out and scratch your guitar, which is nice. I've top wrapped my strings because I like to do that. There's all sorts of reasons why people say you should do it to kind of reduce the break angles on the saddles, etc. I just like it. I don't have any preference for doing that. I just think it's a nice thing to do. And obviously we've got our controls down here. Yeah, all good with push pull. Oh, imagine that. Now then, let me tell you a thing or two about those. This guitar was the second one of these I got because the first one came with something of an issue with the push-pull switches, which I think quite a few of these guitars have from what I've seen. But on this one, the push-pull on the tone knob there, which kind of gives you that famous out-of-phase Peter Green kind of sound, the potentiometer on that one was really, the first one that arrived was really bad. It wobbled and it was loose, and when he pulled out the switch, it stuck out by about an inch, misses, okay? You'd have had somebody's fucking eye out with that, wouldn't you? So that one went back. It was replaced by this one. And on this one, the actual top hats themselves, when you pulled the tone knobs out, they would just come off in your hand. Dirty minds, keep it clean, eh? They would come off in your hand, that's right. And it was the same for all three of them. So what I've done is I put a tiny little bit of Loctite on there, just the smallest amount of the kind of really weak Loctite, not the strong stuff that you can build houses with, so that doesn't happen, because it's a feature that I do use when I'm playing the guitars live quite a lot. Because as I say, some of my stuff is single coil based, some of it's humbucker based, so it's good to have that option. But I've noticed that a couple of these guitars have had that, and other people have said it's the same thing to me as well. So maybe that's something to take into consideration and just keep an eye out for when you're buying your guitar, to make sure that all these don't come off in your hand, missus. So then, what does the Epiphone Les Paul Classic sound like? Well, I've tried to resist putting videos on YouTube because it's very subjective, isn't it? It might sound good to me at this end, it might sound terrible to you at the other end, because how am I miking it up here? I'm going to put it through a DAW, I'm going to just put my microphone in front of my amplifier. Are you guys going to watch it back on the television, through headphones, on a mobile phone? It's all so subjective. So I'm going to give it a go. Be kind to me in the comments, okay? Don't be nasty. I'm doing my best. Please be nice. So what do you think? It's pretty versatile, isn't it? Despite my ham-fisted guitar playing, I think it's good, you know. I liked it so much that I bought this one. This is my second one. Let me show you the first one. Stay there. Don't go away. The first one that I bought was this one. Look at that. The lovely jet black one. And I bought this one because the very second, not the first, the second guitar that I bought when I was a kid was some really shitty no-name Les Paul copy that was in black like this. Didn't play anywhere near as good as this one, obviously. But it was quite expensive. Man, I'm talking in the mid-80s. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but I am that old. In the mid-80s, I think I paid about 80 quid for it, which must equate to about, I don't know, £17,000 or something now, mustn't it? That's fucking stupid. But look, when I bought this one, I was that impressed, I thought I've got to get another one. So that if something happens when I'm gigging, I can switch like for like. And you know what? It works because when I play these guitars, it doesn't matter which one I play, now that I've set them both up to my liking, there is no difference between them. I cannot tell which one I'm playing. If I shut my eyes or if I'm just playing a song and I'm not really thinking about it, it could be either one of them. They're both really, really good. So if you can get your head around the fact that there's nothing wrong with playing a Chinese-made Epiphone Les Paul, then good for you. You're my kind of person. If you're the sort of person that's a snob and says, nah, fuck that, I only want the best. Yeah. Don't we all? I want a solid gold fucking toilet, but I'm not getting one. Those of us that have to cut our cloth accordingly have to be a bit more realistic, don't we? And these are a good buy. They're slightly more expensive now than they were when I bought mine. I think they're probably range between £450 and £500. When I bought mine 6 months back, I think this one was possibly about £420, and the Honeyburst one might have been about £430. So they've gone up very slightly, but not much, not enough to put you off. These aren't cheap guitars anymore though, are they? You know, the days of people saying Epiphone guitars are just cheap and cheerful. They're not, because I don't care who you are. £450 is still an awful lot of money, isn't it? You know, if somebody was to come along in the street and sack that off you, you'd be quite upset. So you want to know you're getting something that's good value for money and won't let you down. And I would say, these are the guitars. These are the ones that can do it. I absolutely love them, and I really, really like the coil split thing you can do with them as well, because it saves so much effort. You know, it's lovely to have that switchability in the tones. It gives you so many different options. They play great, they look great. I'm not sponsored by Epiphone, obviously, but as usual, I'll tag you in the comments, Epiphone, so if you want to send me some money or some free guitars to review, you know where I am, as always. So, there we go. I hope there's been something in this video which has been of interest to you or of use to you if you're looking to buy one of these guitars, because if you are, and you've got the money, do it. Pull the trigger. Don't hang about. Buy one. You will not regret it. Until we meet next time, stay safe, take care, don't let the bastards grind you down, and we'll speak soon.